Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest narration of the web series Accidentally Adopted. If I sound a little bit off in this reading, I apologize. I'm still recovering from some vocal strain and bronchitis. Anyways, on to the chapter. Part 2, Chapter 1, Aftermath and Moving Forward. Log 6,000,9.04, Personal, Captain Yomdraw. Sneaky seems to have recovered somewhat, but he's been melancholy. Both after we returned to the ship yesterday and today. And even Yovdril can't interest him in any play. He wasn't despondent, though, or at least he was willing to eat and drink, nor did he avoid anybody. He seemed to simply be content to drape himself in his blanket and curl up on the sofa, which left him vulnerable to be snuggled by Yovdril on one side and Trandy on the other. But he didn't seem to mind apart from loosening the blanket when he got too warm. I might have been just a little bit tempted to join them on the couch, but I had something to do while Travity was on station trying to get the autocrat to do his job so she could finish hers. Yes, Detective, I'm still here. The disheveled-looking Bjorkidra shuffled into miniaturized view, and on my holodesk looked amusingly like one of Yovdril's stuffed Ursine toys. All right. So you wanted to follow up on an incident at Covenant of the Companion Veterinary Clinic. Do I have that right? Yes, that is right. All right. So what I've down is animal aggression due to unexpectedly severe reaction to routine tests. Do you have anything to add? I certainly do. I was so furious that I'm sure I was barely intelligible. Animal aggression. Routine test. I calmed myself down and began to explain the situation. Sneaky's reaction was only unexpected insofar as Dr. Zuzan didn't expect him to be able to break the glass. In an ostensible effort to identify instinctual fear or aggression triggers, Sneaky was subjugated to an association test. However, this test was modified to include images taken from a police report. I was finding it difficult to speak again, so I took a moment to calm myself. I don't see why an animal would react differently to crime scene images than to other kinds of images in those tests. I understand that they can be quite brutal. The police report was in regards to the battery of crimes that Sneaky was victim to. Oh. I sat in silence while I controlled my anger. I would like to insist upon legal recourse. Would you be willing to give testimony in an investigation capacity? Yes, Detective. And in court proceedings? I would need a month's notice in order to properly chart a course. Are there any other witnesses? My daughter Trandy and Sneaky himself. The animal? He's highly intelligent and capable of complex associations. According to code, okay. We'll have to do an intelligence test. He broke that one at the vet. We can get a sturdier one. No. I mean, he dismantled the puzzles that are supposed to be impossible and destroyed the rewards out of spite. If you subpoena the hologlogs from the testing chambers, you'll get to watch. It was really quite something in person, though. For now, I would appreciate if you remained docked, he sighed with slumping shoulders. Forgive me, Detective, if justice for Sneaky seems beneath you. Oh, no, sorry, sir. I'm only tired. It's been a long month. Apologies, I'm feeling prickly today, he chuckled. Well, with luck, I'll be able to collect my partner, and we can come around this afternoon if you're willing. That would be acceptable. All in all, that had gone rather well, and there was little to do until they arrived. Hopefully. I put on Call to the Blade. Trandy pretended to be exasperated, and before I could start the movie, Yovdril asked, What happened at the vet? Well, Sneaky got a scan, and now we know all the things he can't eat, I explained. That all? No. Sneaky took some tests, but he was too smart. He broke all the tests. Oh, I told you he knows. Yes, you did, kiddo. Daddy, can we just watch your dumb movie? Well, if she was going to pretend exasperation, I'd pretend indignation. Dumb? This film with the most tragic negotiations to ever fall through. This film in which the great Bride Drone successfully defended his interests and honor with blade and ship. Dumb, oh, you wound me. She couldn't resist giggling in reply. Okay. It's a good movie. After this, we'll clear out everything Sneaky can't eat. Sneaky seemed to like knights and castles more than cops and criminals. Well, I can't say I disagree, but finding New Age Blade media isn't easy these days. I may or may not have gotten a few stealth pets down his braid. Well, the cops had yet to show up, so he put all the foods toxic to Sneaky down the biomass reclaimer in front of him. I think he had somehow identified at least 4 things that were dangerous to him, so I was pretty sure he understood that we'd figured it out too. Yovtrol explained it to him anyway. Shortly after that, I was calmed by the detective for permission to board. When I got them into our quarters, they introduced themselves as Detectives Rotbar and Klicksland to the kids, if a little condescendingly. Of course, Trandy and Yovtrol were happy to take Sneaky into another room. Then they asked the kids to leave the room while I answered some questions. They took my statement. They asked for some clarifications and made pointed inquiries about Sneaky. I was prepared and simply dumped the documents from the shelter onto them. "All right," Detective Rotbar said. "With your permission, we'd like to collect your daughter's testimony." I went and found the kids in Trandy's room and told her that it was her turn to tell the police what happened to Sneaky. She controlled her nerves and faced the situation with courage. I was so proud. Trandy sat on the couch with Sneaky, leaning up beside her. He could probably tell that she was nervous, since he was patting the back of her lower hand on that side. She did admirably, and kept her calm better than I did. But then again, I protected her from the police report. It seemed to satisfy them. They thanked us for our time, and I saw them off my ship. Trifty came home with good news, though. It had been a very profitable stop, and we'd be able to chart a new planet or station into our route. That was my job, so I started thinking about what places we'd be bypassing to save fuel. That was a problem for later. The problem for now is, I don't know. I'm unsure about Sneaky. I ever hoped animal experts could shed some light on what kind of lemur he is, whether his behavior is normal, and how to help him cope with the trauma that he must have suffered. But the animal expert turned out to be an unethical voidborn. Journal Entry 9, date 1/2/1. Name Greg George. Fluffy teddy bear cops came to the ship today. Well, also, we watched this badass movie about a night dude trying to marry some chick, but shit-faced wanted to marry her instead, I think. It was pretty heavy on dialogue, but when you don't speak commerce English and the regs say no implants for your MOS, you learn to get by off the actor's expressions and the music. So, I'm used to it. It all came to a head when the hero dude met shitface on a ship, sail-powered on water, and they had a conversation. The music said it was tragic, and then a duel. The music said it was heroic. Forearm sword fighting is a badass as feck. Sure, the prequel memes imply as much, but this crap was the tits. Crabface was a war crime and false surrendered. Then there was a big pre-gunpowder naval battle. I picked up maybe 1 word in 10, and I want to see that crap again when I know the language better. Pops kept peptering my Viking braid for some reason. Maybe that shampoo made my hair super soft or some crap. After that, they threw all of the food I discovered that I shouldn't eat, and some other foods too. They kept the rank-ass berries. They probably need it for their own gut bacteria or whatever. I don't care. I'm just stoked to be able to eat whatever the family is eating that day instead of either salads or something Lucy made special. Hell yeah. Linus said that they were throwing the bad food away. The cops showed up after that. Pops sent us out to the front room, so we hung out in Lucy's room for a while. Linus was pretty chill, but Lucy was nervous for some reason. Maybe the cops were here to take me away. Well, feck that. I'm not leaving my Bleaver's family after eking out a place equal to a toddler. Well, this toddler can be difficult to move. It wasn't anything that bad, but I felt like that, and Dr. Johan did say to be honest with my sanity journal. Thank you, internal therapist voice. I feel a little bit better. Anyway, it turned out that the cops just wanted to talk about me, probably, on account of the destruction of property. I'm still upset that I fucking lost it like that. I know that psych eval is a down check, but what is the down check for? It's not like there's active duty for me on the ship. Am I getting down checked off the ship? I'll not stay if I'm not wanted, but I don't think Pops would buy me a bunch of stuff just to boot me onto the station. I don't know why the cops made Lucy nervous, so I just gave her a hand, a few pats to let her know that I have her back. I want to tell them I'm sorry. Dear Diary, Sneaky is upset. It's not as bad as when we first brought him home, but he's acting depressed again. That test mush must have affected him more than I thought. Well, it sure affected Daddy. He was on a holo with the cops. I can't believe that Dr. Doofus tried to just report it as an aggressive outburst from a routine test. I read about association tests, and dead cubs are never in the basic tests. Gross. Well, the cops were going to come, and I was a little scared that they'd take Sneaky, or try to. Daddy wouldn't let them. I wouldn't let them. After Daddy got off the holo, he put on his favorite movie, again. Okay, it's a really good movie, but Daddy puts it on way too much. I wish somebody would make another good age-of-played movie so this one can get a rest. Well, Sneaky likes it too, which means that Daddy will use that as evidence that we should watch it again. Fine. At least it's such a good movie. After that, we cleared out all of the food that is bad for Sneaky so that he could see that we were making the kitchen safe for him. You've explained it to him anyway, but I think that Sneaky could see that for himself. Then the cops showed up and talked to Daddy alone first. I was super nervous that they might decide to take Sneaky away, but I tried not to show it so that even Sneaky wouldn't worry. Eventually, it was my turn. Sneaky came with me and held my hand the whole time. He seemed relaxed. But I felt like if the cops tried anything he didn't like, he could move scary fast. I told them the truth, and they just thanked us, and Daddy saw them out. I'm glad that we're sailing tomorrow. End of chapter. I would just like to thank the T5 supporters: Bushmaster 117, Casper Arnholtz, Dragzoon W.R.E, Elijah Silvercross, Gray, Jon Creighton, and Sevaren Serberous. Thank you very much.